Greetings, all, and welcome to Knife, Fork, and Spoon. You already know what we're chefing up today. Let's get right into it. I'm using 4 peeled and washed baking potatoes. I quartered those and placed them in a cool bowl of water to prevent them from oxidizing. In the meantime, I have a pot of water on the stove at a medium temperature until it reaches a boil. While we're waiting for the water to reach a boil, we're going to start prepping our vegetables. I'm using 1 whole yellow onion. Now, I know this may seem like a lot, but this is going to melt into the meat and add to the flavor profile. However, if it's not your thing, it's completely okay. I want you to be able to enjoy this meal. So if you want to tweak it here and there, feel free to do so. I'm dicing 3 Roma tomatoes. It doesn't matter how you choose to cut your tomatoes because once these cook down, you won't be able to see it. I'll also be adding 5 whole portobello mushrooms. Make sure you take your time washing them. You definitely don't want any residual dirt in your dish. Trust me. I slice these vertically and cut the tip of the stem. The tip of the stem is usually tough and has the most dirt. Our water has reached a boil and now we're adding the potatoes to cook until fork tender. Now be sure to add salt to your water before placing the potatoes in there. That way it'll prevent you from having to add a ton of salt after they're cooked. Once cooked, I added a few splashes of unsweetened vanilla almond milk and a couple tablespoons of butter. Be sure not to add too much liquid because you don't want this to be loose or runny. And we'll follow the same principle with our meat. Now, I'm old school and I broke out the hand masher, and this is basically what you see me doing, mashing and stirring and mixing all of these ingredients together. And now we're moving on to the meat. My pot is on medium low. I've added olive oil and now I'm adding the onions that we chopped up earlier and garlic. Just when your onions are about to turn translucent, go ahead and add your vegan ground beef. I'm using Gardine's plant-based vegan ground beef. You can find it at your local grocery store. Once the meat is in your pot, leave it to sear, I would say about 2 to 3 minutes. Try not to go more than 3 minutes, otherwise you'll run the risk of it burning. After it's seared, we're ready to add the rest of our ingredients, which will be water, mushroom, and carrots that I chopped off camera. I also added this game changer. I added about 1.5 tablespoons. It's called Better Than Bouillon Seasoned Vegetable Base. You can also find that at your local grocery store. And then I also added pepper, thyme, and about 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste. I forgot to mention that we also added in those tomatoes that we diced up earlier. And after all of these ingredients are nicely incorporated, we're going to leave it for about 20 to 30 minutes, guys. After that, this is what it looks like. Come on now. Now, if you recall earlier in this video, I did mention that you did not want this to be too loose or too runny. So off camera, I made sure to drain some of that excess liquid. And now we are ready to put everything in our baking dish. And here we go. This is what it looks like, guys. Now it's time to add our mashed potatoes. If you're anything like me, extra. I tried to pipe my mashed potatoes and it just didn't pan out that well. The mash hadn't quite cooled yet, and because I did not use a blender, the consistency of the mashed potatoes was a bit too thick for it to pass smoothly through the piping tip. And you'll see it kind of squirts out and it was too difficult to handle. So I had to scrap that idea and move in a more simplistic direction. You'll be able to see what I came up with. Stay tuned. And after 25 minutes in the oven, this is the lovely creation that we have. Guys, it looks just as good as it tastes. I hope that you enjoyed watching my video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.